Parties involved in this case include the asylum seekers as the appellant and PNG Immigration and Border Security Minister as the first respondent. The first part of the hearing today centered on who was responsible for the consequences of the closure of the detention centre.
From the cut-off point of 31st, 5 p.m. onwards, who is now responsible for that? Is it the Australian government that is going to be responsible for the ongoing support for the detainees, or is it the PNG government that should be responsible?
In discussing the legality surrounding the Supreme Court decision of May 2016, the Supreme Court saw that the Australian government cannot be held responsible to continue to provide essential services into the decommissioned centre.
Discuss with us on the bar table and the bench that the PNG should now be seen to be responsible, because once the Australians leave the centre, the PNG government should assume responsibility.
The refugees' lawyer Ben Lomai was seeking 3 orders from the Supreme Court today. These include the restoration of food, water and electricity supply into the decommissioned centre.
As we speak, I'm instructed there's no water, there's no food, there's no medical service, there's no electricity. So we need an order to restore those.
Lomai submitted that under the PNG Immigration Act, authorities cannot force a person to settle in a place when the individual refuses to. These submissions were based on grounds that there was a breach in the constitutional rights of the main appellant and fellow refugees.
That's a right under the PNG Constitution, and they have to comply with that right. You can't force anybody to a location that he or she does not want to go. It's a constitutional right which we are telling the court that should not happen.
But Minister Thomas's lawyer objected to this and told the court there is food, accommodation, water and electricity supply at the new site. He said the appellant has always wanted to be moved out of the detention centre, but when the centre was actually closed last Tuesday, the appellant is now refusing to move out. Meanwhile, in Lombrum Naval Base, the area surrounding the decommissioned centre remains restricted to the public, including media personnel.
There's only 2 that were gazetted. That's the East Lorangar Transit Centre and Lombrum Transit Centre, in which case my clients are currently now residing at the Lombrum Detention Centre. So we say to move them to an illegal centre is unconstitutional.
There is a joint police and defence force presence on the ground. This matter returns to court for a decision tomorrow morning.
And to move them against the will is illegal and unconstitutional.
Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.